find yourself a comfortable way to sit. Relax the shoulders. Take the flesh away from the sitting bones. And find your uprightness. So this is Zen mind yoga, practicing as if you were practicing for the first time, going into yourself, coming into your senses, as if this was something you were doing for the very first time. Maybe your soul has just been dropped into this body in this second, and in every second, for you to experience what being human means. So let's approach yoga today and the asana practice and the meditation with that childlike intention of being curious, not going into old habits of I can do this, I can't do this, but just going on a new journey of discovery, allowing your body to communicate to you as if it was communicating for the very first time. So in that sense, every asana can be like a toy that you're taking and exploring and feeling how your body is responding. So as we are sat here, this is our first asana. You can do this on a chair if it's not very comfortable for you to sit on the ground. You can sit in crossed-legged, you can sit in half lotus, you can sit in Siddhasana with the heel, groin alignment, or you can sit in a kneeling position. And then take the flesh away from the sitting bones once you have chosen the position in which you would like to sit. And then open your arms to the back, relaxing the shoulders, taking the thumb and the index finger together. The thumb stands for fire. So the element of fire inside us. Firing something up, sparking something up. A new idea that came from somewhere that the thumb wants to bring into life. And the index finger is actually connected to the element air of finding the new inspiration. So bringing the thumb and the index finger together allows those seeds to be put into the ground and the warmth of the earth bringing them up. And then relax your hands into that space, just softening your hands to your knees and seeing how those hands are feeling. Softening the sitting bones towards the ground. And exploring with that mind that is doing this for the very first time, what you are sensing through your body. How are your feet feeling? How is the skin on the feet? How is the skin on the legs? How is the skin around the hips? And then go inside and see what kind of sensations are present. And there is no judgment, just this kind, loving observation of what being in this seated posture is allowing to unfold within your body. Shift the head slightly back so the back of your head can be aligned with your tailbone, and then lengthen the back of the neck. And do that same discovery journey that you did with the sensations that are in the body with the breath. Just perceiving the breath as it first comes into the body, the gap after the inhale, and the out breath that gently flows out. And maybe it's not flowing out so gently. So see what is happening for you. How is the flow of your breath? Is it a flow? And again, without judgment, just allowing whatever is happening to communicate with you, and looking at it with that childlike curiosity. Just being with that. Welcoming every perception. And I will tune us in with the mantra. Om Asatu Ma Sadgamaya Tamasu Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And then take your hands to your heart. Allow the elbows to soften towards the ground. Allow the shoulders to soften towards the ground. Just allowing everything in the periphery of the central channel running through your body to soften to the ground on the out-breath. And then imagine roots growing from every part of you into the ground. And see how that feels. See if you can connect to your imagination in that way, that you imagine those roots growing through into the earth, as if you were a tree or a little plant. What kind of plant are you if you were a plant? Are you a tree or are you a tulip? Are you a lotus flower? What plant comes to mind? And just imagine how these roots that are going into that plant that you are connected and giving strength to every part in that plant, allowing it to grow upwards. And see if you can perceive any sensation coming from that imagination. Again, as if you were doing it for the very first time. Notice anything you notice. Even if that noticing is a rejection of anything I say or anything you feel. Maybe there is a pattern in the mind of rejecting certain sensations, trying to escape them. And then let's Om together. Join me or just listen. We will Om 3 times, and just if you are joining me with your Om, so it's the sound A, U, M on the out breath. If you are joining me with your Om, notice if there are any changes in your body in the different sounds, or as you are doing the sound, just notice what is happening. Where can you feel the sound in your body? So take a deep inhale and then just 3 Oms in your own time. And then notice also the resonance after the sound. Notice your thoughts. Notice any feelings. Notice any senses. Whether that is the sense of your hearing, your sense of smell, your sense of vision, your sense of taste, a sense of any tingling in any parts of your body. Just becoming aware. And then slowly allowing the hands to drop, relaxing the legs out, just doing anything that feels right for you at this point in time. So see if you want to wriggle your toes. If you have your legs stretched out in front of you and that makes your back slouch slightly, lift your pelvis a little more by putting it on a block or a book or a folded blanket. And you can help yourself as well by putting the hands to the ground and giving yourself an extra lift, finding that lightness through your body, and then just being playful with your toes. You are like a baby that sees the toes for the very first time and says, oh, what can I do with those? What are these for? So just allowing them to move. How does it feel when you move your toes? Really connect in without that inner thought of, I can't move my little toe separate to the rest of my toes. Just noticing what happens when I do this. What happens when I take my toes back towards me, when I take the toes away from me? So maybe you can see it better if I do it like this. What happens if I do this? What happens if I fold them towards me? What happens if I just stretch the toes, spread the toes, relax the toes? What happens in my ankles when I move the toes in this way? And then just relaxing the toes and moving only in the ankles, seeing if you can separate. Really distinguish where is the movement happening and which parts of the body are not necessary to have any effort as you are doing this. So keeping the toes relaxed and moving solely from the ankle. And if you realize that the toes are gripping, notice that that is happening and see if you can relax the effort in the toes. And then continuing with the movement. Keep exploring that with a childlike curiosity. And if at any point you feel, I really feel like circling my ankles inwards, circling from the ankle joint outwards, do that and notice again what is happening in the toes as you are doing this. What is happening in your jaws? What is happening in your hands? What is happening in the shoulders? Are you still in that light uprightness? And then coming into the knees. So allowing the knees to bend and stretch. And again, just noticing what is happening. How smooth or harsh, how light or heavy is this movement? It's making a sound perhaps when you do it. It's definitely making a sound when I do it. And then letting the legs relax and just taking them in and out from the hips and noticing again what you notice. How does that feel? Maybe do it only with your left leg and notice how that movement is, and then shake a little. See how you are able to shake from here, and then doing the same with the other side, going out and in a controlled way first with your right leg, and then shaking a little. Was it different on the left and on the right? Again, no judgment from your thoughts, if possible. And if there is judgment, then just noticing that that judgment is there. Allowing whatever is unfolding in your body to be present at any point in time. Allowing what is happening in your thoughts to be present. Without attaching to it, without giving it a value. And if you are to give it any value, just love it. See if you can love those thought patterns, even when they're critical, even when they're thoughts that you were to judge as I shouldn't have those thoughts. But that also applies in the reverse. So if we are going to do an asana in the moment and you're doing that asana really well, notice if there is pride or vanity or anything around it. Just noticing what your patterns are. This is what this is about, but without any judgment. So now we are going to take the feet together, holding on to the legs wherever that is comfortable for you. And remember in the last session, if you did the last session, we rounded the back and straightened the back. And we made that rounding and straightening happen through the help of a string that was beyond the head. So that string getting loose, that string lengthening into the space, becoming taut. How does the movement follow if that movement was happening initiated by space? And how does that make your body feel? And this time going into your spine as if you were discovering that spine, one vertebra at a time for the very first time. So maybe you have to do this movement really slowly and just pull by little increments at a time and seeing, where, when I go a little higher, where is that uprighting the spine and where does it take me? And can I take my imagination to the infinite? So that I keep lengthening through the crown, but at the same time with the out-breath, see what happens with the periphery of the body as you are pulled upwards. What happens in the periphery? How is your relationship to gravity? Is there any gripping in the feet? Or are the feet just coming together very lightly, very warmly? What is happening in the thighs? Are the thighs able to relax? By the way, if you are doing this on a chair, then I would recommend, let me get a chair. If you are doing this with a chair, then you can do it like this, for instance, or you can take your legs out. So you do it one leg at a time. And then just stay in that uprightness, relaxing the shoulders, lengthening upwards, relaxing the knees. Feel that warmth through your toes, or maybe you are feeling coldness through your toes. So just because I say feel that warmth through your toes, that doesn't mean that that is the sensation that is present for you. Maybe you have a sensation that I've never experienced in that connection between your feet. So see what is happening for you. And just relaxing, if you can, relaxing the effort. Maybe your thighs are gripping a little. Seeing, why are they gripping? Can I bring my awareness to that space and just relax the effort, letting go? And then from here, with that straight, lengthened spine, very gradually, start twisting your body, but do it very slowly and do this twisting action only with the out breath and take a break on the inhale And with that break on the inhale, you see if you can get more length into the crown, more relaxation on the shoulders. And moving with the out breath, lengthening with the inhale, taking one arm to the back, opening between the shoulders, imagining that smile going from edge of the collarbone to the other edge of the collarbone, feeling that lift at the front of the body, and exploring again what is happening in my legs as I do this. Is my opposite leg that I'm turning away from starting to come up? And again, just noticing how your body is responding, how certain things might be happening that you're not intending for them to happen. And can you relax that gripping action that is happening? By the way, if as you're doing this, you're feeling some tightness that is not very comfortable on the inner thighs anymore, then you can give those legs a lift. You can take this a little higher. It doesn't matter how low the legs are to the ground. You can put something under each side. It doesn't matter what you put there, just to make that effort here a little more effortless. And then gradually you come into that twist and exploring what changes every step of the way. Imagine there are strings on your knees lengthening that thigh bone into the space. And then you can move with your head going forward and backwards, being playful with the neck, seeing how the sensation changes as you look back over your shoulder, how its sensation changes as you look forward, and how does it change in between. So again, this meditative way of moving. And then gradually come back to the middle. Noticing what you notice, what has changed. And then slowly, from that lightness, from that length, if you have lost the length, see if you can reconnect again. And then gradually come to the opposite side. You can take your hand either towards the opposite knee or to your foot, just creating a lever that allows you to go into that openness to the side. And then one vertebra at a time. Take it very slowly, going into that twist on the out breath. Inhaling, seeing if there's any more length in the spine available to you on the inhale. And sometimes if tension develops anywhere, maybe backtrack a little and see, where was it that my body started gripping? Where was it that my body started tensing up? Where did it become uncomfortable? Go back and reapproach it and see, where was it? And then just stop just before it gets uncomfortable and stay there for a minute. Breathe into that. And then maybe a new opening into the pose presents itself. So don't go into this pose mechanically. Go into this pose with a sense of discovery, with a sense of experiencing this journey. Like if you're taking a walk on the beach, the sea is never really the same. The color is always slightly different. The wind, the blow of the wind on the waves is always slightly different. So even though it is the same sea, it is different every second. And then once you have come into the full twist, maybe you want to move your head, maybe you want to move a shoulder, seeing, being playful, rediscovering this toy of the twist in this position. And at some point, maybe you want to rest with your head somewhere. It doesn't matter where that is. You don't have to complete the twist. And then if you wish, you can also notice, what is my breath doing when I become still? Noticing if there's gripping on the inner thighs and just bringing your awareness into the inner thighs. And if you are able to relax the inner thighs, how is that affecting the twist? How is that affecting the spine? Listening, sensing. Sensing your feet all the way up to your crown, to your fingers, noticing what you notice. And then come back to the middle. Just sit there for a moment longer if you can. Relax the shoulders. And then stretch your legs out again. Or a half block, put that half block underneath your head. So you lie on your side like this. Excuse me for a moment. So as you are lying here on your side, just relaxing your head on this half block. And in fact, I'm noticing right now, my shoulder isn't very comfortable when I put my head on the half block today. Sometimes it is. And because I'm doing this as if I'm doing this for the first time, I decide I'm going to make myself comfortable here, and I'm going to take the folded blanket that is just slightly higher, giving a little bit of extra freedom to my shoulder. And then relaxing the knees here in that slight bend in front of me. And I'm going to put my arms into any position that allows spaciousness between the shoulder and the ear. And then I'm going to stretch out that upper leg. See how that feels. Just bring some movement. I invite you to bring some movement into your hips, keeping that foot really relaxed if you can, or if there is tension, noticing if there is any tension. And then bringing the leg towards you and stretching it back out again. See how far that feels comfortable. Where does it start being uncomfortable, perhaps? And maybe you can bring the knee towards you with the bend in the knee. And then maybe you want to stretch out your shins, your lower leg. Stretch it out and see if your foot starts gripping, if anything else in the leg starts gripping. So we are approaching a pose called Anantasana or Bliss Pose. And if you have a scarf or belt available, that might help you in a moment. But for now, we are just moving the joints, adjusting them, hydrating the joints, bringing a little bit of movement in. And when we do those little movements, we're creating little vacuums and releasing the vacuums in the joints, and this way we draw in more joint fluid into those joints. So we're opening the spaces, nourishing the fascia, which are the skins around the muscles, the skins that are around the bones. So we're nourishing those with those small movements. And see again if you can notice whatever you notice. How does my leg feel? How does my body feel? How is my mind? What feelings are present? And whatever feelings are present, whatever thought patterns are present, can you be in equanimity with whatever thought pattern that is? That is a sense of restlessness, or whether that is a sense of boredom, maybe even. And if there is a sense of, I'm really enjoying this, then giving that its space without any judgment as well, positive or negative. And then at some point, maybe your body feels like you want to stretch that leg out. And it doesn't matter where in space that leg wants to stretch out. So maybe you need to bring it to over here and stretch it. And if it is over here, you can make it lighter for yourself by using the belt or the scarf or a towel or even the blanket, whatever you have present, putting that blanket around, or that towel or belt or scarf around the ball of the foot so that the toes can still be free. And just seeing where can you bring your leg with that straightened knee, but not over tense, so the knee is relaxed, but as straight as possible whilst being relaxed. And then again, I invite you to be playful. So just moving away, coming towards you again, bringing spaciousness into the joints and noticing what you notice. And then at some point maybe there is a position where it feels really nice for you. So if you can't see that very well, this lower leg is bent, but you can stretch that leg out. That is really just for you to have balance. So the more balance you need, the more you bend that leg, the less balance you need, the more you straighten that leg out. And this leg that is up here, the back of the knee faces away from you. So the kneecap faces you. No matter where that is, the kneecap is in your direction. And then just finding the position that is right for you, passively holding it with your arms so that there is no gripping in the shoulders, no gripping in the elbow. You're just passively holding it and relaxing the shoulder away from there. And again, this can be done in any position, whether the leg is over there or whether the leg is closer. Just finding that point and then adjusting your arms so that it can just hang in space. And then breathing into this, bringing your awareness into this. What sensations are present? What thoughts are present? Is your mind still or is your mind busy? Is your mind going into memory or is your mind going into the future? Or is your mind present? And just being with whatever that, where your mind is. What sensations are in the thighs, what sensations are in the body, and if the sensations are too intense, ease out a little. Find the sensation that is just right for you to become still within the pose. And discovering again from there. And then perhaps it might happen that if you go to that space where the sensation is minute, and that is right for you, that the sensation is only just felt, that then from there suddenly an opening happens and you can go deeper because everything just relaxed into this. And then just let go of the leg. If you felt you have just had that opening I was talking about, then you can stay there a little longer. But if you wish to come out, just letting that leg come down, bending the legs if you had the lower leg straight, and just feeling. And then we are going to bend the lower leg like this, stretch the upper leg away from you in one line with your body. And if you had something under your head, you can move that away now. And then make sure that your body and your leg are as much as possible in one line. So the crown is aligned with the hips, is aligned with the heels. So if there was a wall going through here or a train track, you're aligned with that train track. And then you take the hands away from the body towards the narrow end of your mat if you are practicing on a mat. So that train track we were talking about a minute ago goes right through the middle between your hands, and you just place those hands on the ground, relax the shoulders, relax the elbows, lengthen the back of the neck. So make sure that the chin doesn't go forward, the chin is still tucked in so that you can get that length on the back of the neck. Pull the belly in and up, and feel that line going through from the heel all the way to the crown, and project that line out, if you can, into space. So in your imagination, if you were to draw this pose, I want you to imagine drawing a line going out of the crown, going a line going through the heel into the space, into towards the ground perhaps. And then relaxing the shoulders down and back, lifting the front of the body as you're pulling your navel in and up. Breathe deeply and feel this beautiful twist in your body. Lift the solar plexus, and again notice what you notice. And I just said feel this beautiful twist, and that is because it's beautiful for me at this point in time feeling it. But if your feeling or sensation around it is different to my perception of it, because I've done this so many times, I have learned to love it, see what sensation is there for you. And if the sensation is too strong, backtrack a little. Don't go too deep into it. Go only as far as you can go, that you start feeling that sensation that is just right, that you can just relax the effort into, and then notice what you notice. How are your feet? How are your hands? Are your hands relaxing into the ground? How are your shoulders? How is your spine? And then keeping that uprightness in the front of the body, come down onto the elbows. So lengthen the front of the body, push against that elbow that is on the same side as the knee pointing to the side. So that elbow, you're kind of pushing a little into that to create a lever to go more into the twist. And relax the shoulder blades down, lift the solar plexus towards the top of the head. And breathe deeply. And then see if you want to move your head a little from side to side. I hope you can see this well. I'm going to turn around so that you can perhaps see what I'm doing better. So it's this arm that is on the side of the knee pointing to the side that I'm kind of twisting away from, that I'm pushing into slightly. Still the belly is pulled in and up, so you're working your abdominals, your hands relaxing, chin tucked in, and then the head going from side to side. Creating spaciousness in the neck, noticing what you notice, and maybe at some point you want to complete the twist by just looking over the shoulder, away from the knee that is pointing to the side. And breathe in there. Bring the curiosity in, bring the playfulness in. What is your body inviting you to do right now? What are you feeling? What are you sensing? Make that perception of the sensations in your body really alive. Go deeper and deeper if you can. Go deeper into your hands, deeper into your feet. Feel what your organs might be feeling. So just going in. What is present? Where is your awareness? And can you bring that awareness into your body? And then slowly, slowly and gently coming out. And again, noticing what you notice. And then we'll come onto the other side. Bringing that leg to the front lying on your side. Maybe you want that lift again here under the head. And just lying on your side for a moment. And then at some point, you can start moving the upper leg. Make sure as you are lying with your head on that lift that there is spaciousness between your ears and your shoulders, and just start moving that leg. Be playful. And explore where is the right position for your lower leg. Does it need to be slightly bent? Does it need to be bent more? Or is it possible for you to be straight with your lower leg? How are your hips feeling as you do this? Is there at any point in the movements that you're exploring, do you feel tightness? And can you bring your awareness into that tightness and welcome even the tightness, because it's information from your body telling you where it is holding on, where it is being protective of you. So just welcoming it as feedback from your body telling you, I am trying to protect you, and maybe communicating with that part of your body saying, I'm safe here. You can let go of the holding, you can undo that holding and just allow me to explore. I will be sensitive, I will listen and not go further than my ability. Your body is your friend. So listening, telling the body, informing the body that you can take the reins now and listen in. And then at some point, perhaps you want to bring that knee up so that it points towards you, and the back of your thigh points away from you, and then moving with your lower leg. And if you have that scarf or that belt or that towel near, this is the time to bring that in. But you can also, depending firstly on your flexibility, you can do this with your hands, so taking the index finger and the middle finger through and holding the big toe, or you can do it without anything, wherever you are in space, just doing that stretching and that bending until at some point you feel, I want to just stay still here. If you are further away from your body than the 90-degree angle, then it is helpful to bend that lower leg more, and there will be more holding in the body. So the further you are away from you, the better it is to actually use a belt or a scarf or a towel to hold that in space. But keeping the pose alive wherever it is, feeling into it, being playful, moving the toes, moving the ankle, maybe even moving the knee, bending and stretching, until you find an alive stillness, wherever that is in space. And then just feeling into your body, feeling into your breath. Is your breath open and spacious, or is your breath tight and restricted? If you notice tightness, restriction, see if you can find a different angle of this pose where you sense that your breath becomes a little more spacious, a bit more relaxed. If there is gripping in the body, the same thing. Just be playful. See where can I position that leg so that I have a sensation, but it's a sensation I can be comfortable with, I can relax into. And just exploring that. And in fact, exploring, is it possible for me to make that pose a little lighter, to imagine space is helping me? So if I imagine the trajectory of my heel or the trajectory of my toes, and just allowing the imagination that space might be holding you, that you can actually just rest that leg onto space, that you can feel a thread on your heel holding you in space. And seeing how that changes the gripping, if there is gripping present in the body, how that changes your thoughts, how that changes your approach, how that changes your feelings. So here in yoga, we have this opportunity to become aware of our habits, because often the habits that we discover about ourselves in yoga are the exact habits that we might have in life, that we might have in work, that we might have in the queue in the supermarket. So if I'm showing impatience or restlessness with my body in yoga here, in the asana, then see if that applies to your other life. And if you were able in that asana to undo that restlessness and find the stillness, are you able to apply that to life later on? Are you able to change the way you look at something so that you can find the equanimity with whatever you're having to deal with in life? And then we're going to undo that. Stretch out the lower leg. Bending the lower leg. 90-degree angle here, 90-degree angle in the knee. So you have that knee exactly on the line of the hip. The upper leg stretching out into space so that it is in one line with your body. We don't need that lift anymore. And then finding the length in your body, aligning your body with your thigh, and then taking the hands away from you, so the fingertips point to the opposite direction of the heel of the extended leg. And then relaxing the shoulders, smiling from collarbone to collarbone. Pull the belly in and up, and when you pull the belly, pull the navel towards the spine and slightly suck it upwards, you find you have more spaciousness to go into this twist. And then notice again if there's any gripping, if there's any holding, and see if you can find that communication again of telling the body, okay, you don't need to hold on here, you can relax a little, trust me, I will not go too far. I will only go to where it is right for me. Lengthening, finding spaciousness in the spine wherever you have found your right position, where the position can breathe for you, and then discovering the sensations in your body. When you find the position that is right for you, where your spine is straight, no matter where that is in the twist, then a flow is possible, a flow of energy going through the cells is more enabled. Obviously, the cells always communicate, but it's about enabling that flow to be more open. So find where your body just naturally opens up and you can be with the sensation with more spaciousness. And explore what you can sense in your feet, in your legs, in your hips, in your spine, in your shoulders, in your arms. And then come with that same openness, so lifting the solar plexus as you come down on your elbows, shoulders away from the ears, tucking the chin in, and then taking the head from one side to the other, keeping as much as you can the alignment in the spine. Relaxing the elbows to the ground, softening the arms into the ground, and finding that spaciousness of the movement in your neck. And you can push into that arm that is on the same side as your knee, pointing sideways, to allow you to be held with more ease within this twist. And maybe at some point you just want to look away from that knee pointing sideways over your shoulder and just enjoy this twist. And then when you've had enough, if you're still enjoying being in this twist, please stay there. But when you've had enough, just take a moment to lie on your side and just noticing what you notice. Noticing how your body is feeling now after this little sequence. Little but long. Just being. And then very slowly and gently push yourself up into a seated position in Vajrasana. If Vajrasana is not available to you, if kneeling is not available for you in this way, then you can again use the chair. Sit on the chair, do the same thing. And if you have two chairs, you can do the thing we are about to do with your buttocks on the chair and your hands on the chair in front of you. We're going to go into child pose. So take the knees apart, relaxing the hips onto the heels, and really allow your weight to sink in. If this is uncomfortable on the back of your foot, that might be a stretch just too far for some, you can take a small cushion or rolled up socks and put them under here. I tend to sometimes use this. This is a pranayama bolster, and put that under the heel. And for some of you, it might be the opposite, that letting the buttocks go onto the heels is a bit uncomfortable. So then we create a lift like this. So see what it is you need to make this more comfortable for you. And then just relax towards the heels, whether there is a cushion in between or not. And just discover your spine. Feel your spine. Maybe you want to do a few movements here. Maybe your body just wants to sway a little. And from here, from this alignment, in this aliveness in the spine, or wherever it is, see if you can invite a sense of aliveness. And aliveness is nothing but you taking your awareness in and really noticing what is present, because obviously your body is alive. So just taking the awareness inside, feeling what is it that my body needs, and then taking the hands to the ground, discovering that. How does that feel? How does that change of position change how I am relating to my body? How am I with gravity? How am I able to still let my hips let go into the heels? Is my upper body still light? Or is the upper body getting heavy and rounded? And if it is getting heavy and rounded, maybe you want to do some tucking under and tucking out of the sitting bones and of the tailbone. And then at some point, perhaps from the straightness of the spine, still as much as possible connected, giving your weight to your feet, come a little lower. And again, looking in, seeing what has changed. Being with that. Relaxing the effort, relaxing the shoulders, noticing what you notice. And if at any point in time you feel like your hips starting to lift up, backtrack a little, reconnect the hips again, reconnect to your heels or to the bolster. And this way you're doing the journey one step at a time, being honest with yourself in the sense of Satya, one of the precepts of yoga, which is truthfulness. And that relates not necessarily just to truthfulness in your life, because sometimes in life we can't be truthful as long as we're aware of it, that we can just be honest with ourselves that it's not 100% possible all the time to say the truth. In particular, when we're talking to small children. So we tell people the truth as much as they can handle, but the challenge is to be truthful with yourself. Are you truthful with your thoughts? Are you truthful with your body? Are you truthful with your feelings? Are you actually allowing yourself to listen to what is really happening inside? And then coming a little deeper. Again, connecting in. Opening to listening to your truth in this. And at some point, you might find the ground. And then you just let your forehead go to the ground. Or again, you can use a bolster or your folded blanket and just fold on top there. Just make the pose comfortable for you. Either with a bolster or a couple of folded blankets or 3 folded blankets. Find the position where it is right for you. And just reconnect. Give yourself fully to the ground or to your bolster. And if you are using a bolster, you can either put your forehead on the bolster and just relax the arms to the ground, or you can take the bolster a little deeper in towards you and just relax your body like this on top of the bolster with the head to one side and then changing around, putting the head to the other side. So see what feels right for you, what allows you to find that space where you can surrender to the pose and just be. And just experience what kind of sensations are present. And if there are certain areas of your body where you can't connect to. So could it be that when you focus on your middle back, you're feeling nothing? And just become aware of that, again with no judgment, just be aware. So today I might not be feeling my middle back at all. And opening the invitation to discover if in a future session you suddenly become aware, oh, today I am feeling my middle back. And that can relate to any part of your body. Maybe you're not feeling your body at all and you're always in your mind. And maybe you're feeling your hands for the very first time. You're feeling the sensations inside your hands or your feet. And if you are using a bolster and at some point you realize, actually I don't need that bolster anymore, I just can come to the ground now. Putting the forehead to the ground because your body opened up somewhere, then follow that and just surrender to that. The child pose is about surrender, surrendering to what is, surrendering to what presents itself. And surrender doesn't mean resigning. Surrender simply means allowing what is to be exactly as it is, and then finding the strength to respond to what is happening rather than react. So surrender does not mean giving up. Surrender just means I accept the things I cannot change, but I am going to be strong enough to make the best of it. And just breathing into that. If you are somebody who enjoys downward dog, we're not going to stay in downward dog long today, then I invite you to come and do a downward dog. If downward dog isn't what you're vibing today, then please come to standing. And you can already feel into your feet in a standing position. If you are doing downward dog, take your tailbone up in this position. where you have your hands just under your shoulders, your knees just under your hips, and then move the hands just slightly away from you. Take the tailbone up, tuck the toes under, and then allow your tailbone to be drawn away, diagonally away from the hands. And on an out breath, engage your pelvic floor and start coming up into downward dog, relaxing into the shoulders, letting the solar plexus lift towards the heels of the hands if you can, and finding that length in your spine. And bend your knees enough so that your spine can be straight. So if when you go up here into the straight leg position, the back rounds, then you bend your knees more so that you can lift your sitting bones. And then let your head go. Relax into that. Breathe spaciousness into your throat region, into your neck. Wide shoulders. And then slowly move towards your thighs and start uncurling one vertebra at a time. And then just stand in space for a moment. Relaxing into your feet. Relaxing your knees, letting your tailbone drop. Aliveness into your fingers. So feeling what your fingers are feeling what your thumb is feeling every finger, one finger at a time, and just becoming aware what you are feeling. Is there warmth? Is there cold? Is there tingling or is there tension? What is happening in your hands, then in your arms, then in your shoulders, your hips, your legs, your feet? How are your feet connecting to the ground? Is there spaciousness in the toes? How is your head? Is your head aligned with your hips? Can you move the pose in a way that you align the back of your head with the hips, and see how that changes your connection to the ground? How are you feeling the ground through your feet? How are you trusting the ground? How does standing feel for you right now? With every breath, how does it change on the in-breath? How does it change on the out-breath? And then imagine that you have a light flower going through your body and beyond your body. So you're suspended within a light flower, just like this. And it is 3D, going into space this way, going towards me this way, going into the right, going into the left. So you're just within this light flower. And imagine that going through your body and beyond your body. And imagine that light flower becoming alive underneath your arms and spinning slower and faster in different places in your body and around your body. And imagine the spinning of those little wheels of that flower spinning faster underneath your arms. So your arms lift as if that flower was making them come up. And then you rest your arms onto that spinning flowers. Connect your fingertips into space. Imagine you are feeling the walls through your fingertips. See how that feels in your body. And if you can sense a sense of something rotating anywhere in your body or any tingling, and just tune into that tingling wherever it is, in your toes, in your fingertips, in your head, in your tongue. It doesn't matter where. And then turn your palms up And again, those little rotating flowers. Come a little higher, rotate a little faster, bringing your arms up, connecting the fingertips into space, but relaxing the shoulders. See how you feel here. Then bringing the hands together, taking your whole weight onto your left leg and bringing the right leg around and just stretching into the space. Stretching into your fingertips. In fact, you can open the hands again and relax the shoulders down. Bring openness, spaciousness between your shoulders. Bend the knees slightly, so don't overstretch them, and notice where you feel the sensation in your body. And then keeping the leg in that position, do it to the other side. See how the sensations are different from one side to the other. Coming back to the middle. Taking the hands down, notice what you notice, undoing. See what has changed in your body. See if the sensations around your spine are different, in your waist, in your legs. Then take the other leg on the front. Taking the arms up. Stretching up, pulling the belly in and up, relaxing the shoulders, lifting the rib cage away from the hips, relaxing the shoulders, bringing the hands together, and then coming to the side, keeping both sides of the body as open as you can, ensuring the flow of energy through your body. And then if you want to open your arms or keep your arms together, your hands together, see what feels right for you. See what allows you more spaciousness in the shoulders. And notice where the sensations of stretch are in your body right now. And then take the body to the other side. See what changes. See where the sensation is now. So a slight shift, one leg being in front and the other in the back, just changes the whole sensation possibly. Is that the case for you? Do you feel the stretch in different places? And can you just relax into that and feel that? Allow your awareness to go with open-mindedness into that sensation. And coming back. Taking the feet next to each other, notice what you notice. And then take your weight onto your right leg, more and more, letting the weight drop into the right leg. And once you have your balance established, maybe you can help yourself by putting your right hand on an imaginary object next to you. And just resting your hand on there. If that doesn't work for you to maintain your balance, find a wall or the handle of a chair, the back bar of a chair to rest on, or a windowsill. And then bring one leg up like this, pushing the hips forward so you feel the front thigh. I'm going to demonstrate this sideways. So you want your knees aligned as much as possible and then pushing the hip forward. Relax your shoulders. You can stay with the stretch or join me with option number 2 of that stretch. So you take your free hand, that is if your balance is established, and extend it diagonally in front of you, so slightly higher than the shoulders. As if you were aiming at something at the top of a tree. And extending that hand as if there was a light thread holding your hand in space. And then keeping your body as upright as possible, push with your back foot against your back hand, breathing spaciousness into your knee as you are doing this. So no effort in the knee whatsoever, just allowing a rising of that back leg with your inhale, a relaxing into space, into your feet, relaxing the toes with your out-breath. So this movement upwards, again, you can imagine those rotating light flowers lifting your leg up, and both arms are extended. Just allowing that lifting. And wherever the body starts feeling discomfort, you go, backtrack, stay there, stay where you are slightly before. And just allowing yourself to be playful with that pose. And if you want to do this pose, but balance is a problem, go towards a wall and do it towards a wall with your hand on a wall. Make sure the back knee is pointing down, engage your pelvic floor, pull your belly in and up to protect your back. And relax again. Relax and notice what you notice. Notice your hands, your knees, your feet, your hips, your spine, the front of the body, the back of the body, the head space. Just being with any senses, with any sensations. Really allow yourself to feel into them. In our busy lives, we sometimes have the tendency to avoid certain feelings, to avoid certain thoughts, because they are not going to enable us to function. So take this time to really feel in and undoing the habit of avoiding, but going in and feeling in what is presenting itself to you. No matter how inconvenient a truth about oneself that might be, if it is inconvenient. Maybe it is really positive, but you're still not allowing yourself to feel into that because you have negative mind chatter about yourself. So just allowing any possibility of what is happening to unfold itself. So now take your weight onto your left foot. Relax the toes into the space. Relax your knee, relax your hip. Lift the front of the body, pull the belly in and up. Feel that thread on the top of your head, holding you in space, relaxing the shoulders down. If you need, find somewhere to rest your hands on or rest them on an invisible object of your imagination in space. And then when you feel ready, take the right foot, the right ankle into your hand, rest the knee into space, push the hip forward. So it's a tucking under. I'm going to turn again so you can see me sideways. Push the hip forward, align the knees with each other, and then you should feel this in your front thighs. If your balance is established, you can just, if you wish to go to option number 2 of Natarajasana, dancer's pose, extend your fingertips into space, imagine those imaginary threads. If balance is a problem, find a pillar or a wall or a windowsill, whatever it is that is available in your room to rest on, and then see if you can trust the ground enough to start allowing space to lift your back foot, knee still pointing down. Find a way to keep your body upright. If your body starts twisting out like this, you're very likely to lose your balance. So make sure you only go as far as you can go, keeping your hips pointing forward, not opening your hips and twisting the body to the side. And find a way to approach this pose as if for the very first time, just noticing how does my body change at any point in this posture. If you lose your balance, just find it again. It's okay. Feel that string on the top of your head, a string on your fingertips, and feel space moving your back leg up. Both arms are straight, so that that foot is passively pushing against the back hand. And then slowly come back. And again, notice what you notice. Relax the knees, relax the feet, relax the shoulders. And bring your awareness inwards to see what is happening inside. Close your eyes. Tune in. and it is time to relax. So we are going to go into any position that for you is the position you want to relax in. You can also do your meditation or relaxation in a seated position. If you want to lie on your back, take a half block or a small pillow under your head. You can go into a restorative position and take a bolster or a few folded blankets under your knees. So these are your options. If there's any other way that you can think of that you want to relax in, that's also fine. So this would be restorative position, spaciousness between shoulders and ears. This would be corpse pose, Shavasana. If you need to wear socks or put a blanket on top or a cushion on your eyes, do that. Find a position where the arms are comfortable, where the front of the body can be open. Maybe you want to tuck your shoulders under a little to give more space to your lungs. But mainly, tuck the chin in slightly so that the back of your head can elongate. The crown can elongate away from the hips. And then just allow the body to get heavy towards the ground. If you are seated, make sure that the sitting bones are back and that your spine can be relaxed, giving yourself enough lift that you can stay in this pose in comfort, sitting on something a little higher so your knees can be lower than your hips so that your hip flexor can be open. We have made a video, Michael and myself, about finding the right way to sit. So if you are finding it hard to find a comfortable way to sit, I would strongly recommend you go and look at that video or find any other video on the internet that helps you to find a comfortable, effortless way to sit. And once you have found your space of comfort, go inside. And feel into your breath. Feel into your body. Become aware of anything your body might be feeling at this point in time. Any senses. How are your feet? How are your toes? How are your knees? How are your hips? Become aware of sensations on your skin and internal sensations. And if you can, sensations beyond your skin. Sensations on your hips, sensations in your trunk. Maybe there are sensations in your inner organs. Sensations in your shoulders. Sensations in your arms, hands, fingers. Allowing your sense of perception to become really tuned in. Your neck, throat, head, mouth, jaws. Your sense of taste, your sense of smell, images that present themselves to your eyes, especially if your eyes are closed, sensation around the scalp, sensations in the brain. Just allowing any sensation to present itself to you. And then in your mind's eye, just repeating the syllables as you are doing this, as you are going in with your awareness. Sa, ta, na, ma. Just feeling those words. Internally repeating those words. Sa, ta, na, ma. And seeing if any sensations in your body change as you internally repeat those syllables. Sa, ta, na, ma. How is your mind? What feelings are present in your heart? What feelings are present? Is there sadness or is there happiness? Is there anger or is there peacefulness, stillness? Whatever it is, just allow it to be and imagine just breathing into it with an acceptance. And also exploring with that beginner's mind. Where is that feeling that I realized is there in my body? Maybe there is anxiety, maybe there is fear, maybe there is trust. Where is whatever feeling? There are so many feelings that you could be with. Where is that in your body? And just give attention to it. Give an open curiosity to whatever unfolds itself. And also, without holding on to it, it might change over time as you listen. Just allowing it its space. And I will make some sounds in a moment. Just allow these sounds to also come in connection with those feelings, with those perceptions in your body, with your senses, with your thoughts, seeing how things change, if they change. Just tuning in, allowing what is with an open mind. Just being with those sounds as they unfold, allowing them to unfold within you. If you can feel these sounds perhaps also in your body, or if you don't, allowing what is, welcoming what is. Listening with your inner and outer ears. If someone told you for a fact that these sounds were doing things, changing things in your body, and you just had to go in and discover it, how does that attitude allow you to perceive this sound as if for the very first time? As it comes, gets louder, and as it fades. Just being with whatever unfolds itself. Sensing comfort and discomfort with equal acceptance. And as the sounds become stiller, slower, quieter, just being with that, seeing how your body receives that. Just allowing.